Hello everyone, hope you're all doing great. So I'm Saranya, and in this video I'll be talking about how to drop the database, how to create the table with constraints, and also how to insert the data in it. And as discussed in the previous video, we'll be talking about the homework problem that I have given in the previous video's comments section in the description box. I have given a homework problem. So that we will discuss at the end of the video. So please stay tuned till the end to find out the solution to that problem. And apart from that, yeah, so drop the database, create a table with constraints and insert data in that. Like how to insert data in two different ways. That also we'll be seeing in this video. Okay, so open MySQL Workbench. Yes, so open MySQL Workbench and you'll be seeing this local instance MySQL 80. Yeah, so this is what we created in the previous video. Now what I will do, so you have created the database called student underscore DB. But what if you do not want this database anymore? Okay, so you have to like delete the database, right? So in SQL, the delete what you see or what you use is referred with the syntax drop. Okay, so if you say drop something, it means delete that permanently. Okay, so now what we will do after this, just put a comment, delete the entire database. So can you guess what will happen if I delete the database? Like what will happen to these tables, views, stored procedures, functions, right? So if you delete this database, everything will get deleted. Okay, so please make sure when you are in a big company, if you just do drop database, entire data will be lost by the company. Okay, so never do that drop thing. And most of the cases, you will not be given access to drop as well. Okay, so that is completely fine. But be sure and be careful while doing that. Okay, the syntax is as follows: drop database and the database name student underscore DB and a semicolon. Okay, so now select this line and click on run. It says drop database student underscore DB, one row affected, and it has executed. If you see in the left side, you do not see the database student underscore DB. Okay, so this part is called dropping the database. Now, what we will do in this video is that we will learn about constraints and create the student underscore details table one more time. Why we are using the same table? Because you already have idea how student table looks like, right? That's the reason. So now again I need the database, right? So I will use create database student command and I will run this. Then I will use the student database. Before that I'll just refresh to see if it is created. Yes, it is created. Use database command. I'm going to run now. Okay, so now right now we are inside the student underscore DB. Okay, so now to create the table student underscore details, the first thing is your student ID. Okay, so imagine student ID is integer. And one more thing is that ID numbers cannot be duplicates. Okay, which means two students cannot have the same ID. In that case, what we will do here, after the data type, you give a space and give the constraint. What is constraint? It will make sure some conditions are met. If the conditions are met, then only it will allow you to insert the records. That's the reason we are discussing this before inserting the records. Okay, so student underscore ID is integer and the constraint that I'm using is primary key. Okay, so now if you ask me what is primary key, so primary key will tell you that each and every row wherever you have student underscore ID, like that particular column will be there, right? In that column, everything should be different. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, everything should be different. Okay, so that is the reason why we are using primary key. You have to give a space between primary and key. Okay, so it means what will happen now, the student ID is the primary key, which means it will not allow duplicates. It will not allow null values also. Like if you say that, okay, I will not fill anything, I will just run it. That also cannot happen. It cannot have null values. It cannot have duplicate values. Okay, so these two things. Then comes the student underscore name. Okay, so for student underscore name, what we will do, we will use something as the not null. It means it should not be null value. Null, not space null. This will ensure that when you're inserting a record, you are not giving any null values. Okay, that is one thing. And then age integer. After this, we will use one more constraint called check. Okay, so what does check do? It will check if that particular person's age is more or not. Okay, so now for age, we are having integer, and after that, I'll make sure I'll put a condition. Okay, whoever the student is joining into that particular school or college should have age greater than or equal to 18. Okay, I'll put that one condition. So just write check and open the bracket, in that write age greater than or equals to 18. Okay, which means if the student age is less than 18, it will not let you insert any data into the table. Now you have gender. So even in gender also, you want to check if that gender comes in only two letters, M and F, right? So apart from that, it should not have any letters, like they can't write A, B, C in gender. Okay, so then what you will do, here also you will put check, bracket open, gender. So for this, you have another keyword like greater than or equal to will work only for numbers. If it is a string, you will use in. Gender in. Here you will put M, comma, F, and close the bracket. Okay, one more close bracket for this one. Okay, so gender should be in M, F. That is done. And then you have the email ID. So for this, one more constraint is called as the unique constraint. So unique constraint will tell you that no two people should have the same email ID. Okay, so now you will ask me what is the difference between primary key and unique. Primary key will not let duplicates. Unique also will not let duplicates, which is fine. But unique will let you have null values. A student may have email ID, may not have email ID, which is completely fine. So we will use unique because unique will let you use, null values. Okay, so but it will not let you have duplicates. So that is one difference between primary key and unique. And this is the most asked interview question. What is the difference between primary key and unique? Primary key will not let duplicates. Unique also will not let duplicates. Primary key will not let null or blank values, but unique may let null or blank values. That is one interview question. And then GPA decimal. So this I will not put anything right now. Or you can just put a check condition and say GPA should be less than or equal to 100. And after that, you should not exceed that. Okay, joining date is fine, hostel resident. So there is one more constraint called as the default constraint. Okay, so for that, hostel underscore resident boolean. Then default. What does this mean? If the person is not entering any value, like if they left it blank, by default, keep it as some value. What is that some value? I am keeping it as false. Okay, so let's say if in the hostel resident column, they have not put any value. So by default, keep it false. Okay, so this can be used anywhere, like by default do this, by default do this, like that. Okay, so this is the default constraint. So we have primary key, not null, check, unique, default. Yeah, so 5 constraints are done. The others we'll discuss in the next video or like later once we start working. Okay, so once you write all of the code, now click the select everything and click the run button. And let's do this describe student details to see what all we have. Okay, yes. So last time when you saw, it has all yes, and this one is blank, right? So, but here, if you see, you have student ID, integer, null values allowed, no. Key is primary key. If you see email, null values allowed, yes. And it is a unique constraint. And in the student name, you see no null values allowed. Age, null values are allowed. Character, yes, 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 yes. Okay. And also in the last video, I told you, I'm going to discuss one interview question, right? So that is, what is the difference between varchar and what is the difference between char? Where do we use both of them? Okay. So varchar versus char. Okay, so basically what does varchar and char do? So character means if you know that a particular column is not going to exceed this number of letters, in that case you will use character. Let's say if your PAN card number or your Aadhaar card number, okay, it is gonna be same mix of alphanumeric characters for everybody. Okay, so around some 10 characters we will have, that is same for everybody. Right, and also like pin codes, they are also same for every place in India. You will have only those number of like around, okay, six numbers will be there for each and every pin code. So you know that there are going to be fixed number of letters or strings in that. In that case you will use char. Okay, and in the bracket, oh sorry, you will use char, and in bracket let's say put 10, which means that particular column will only have 10 characters, not more than that. In that case you will use char. And when will you use varchar? When you know that this particular column can have any number of letters or numbers, alphanumeric. In that case you will use varchar, like your email IDs or your names. And one more thing is that which is faster is one interview question that you may be asked. Varchar is faster when you don't know how many characters are going to be there. This is faster when you know fixed number of characters. Let's say if the government is creating a database for all the people in India, then for PAN card, it will choose character of 10 or varchar. Obviously, it will choose char 10 because this is the fastest when you know how many characters are going to be there. This is fastest when you don't know how many characters are going to be there. Okay, so this is the difference, and this was asked for me in one interview. That is the reason why I'm sharing this. And also the difference between primary key and unique, that was also asked in one interview. So please make sure you take a note of these two, like maintain a separate notes where you write all of these questions and refer that before an interview. Okay, now as I told, we'll try to insert the records in this table, right? So let's see. So for inserting the records, the like syntax that we use, insert into student underscore details, which means you're inserting into this particular table space values, bracket open, bracket close, semicolon. Okay, so into the student underscore details table, you are inserting some values. What values are you inserting is what we'll discuss now. So let's bring this table a bit down so we can refer. Okay, right. Now if you see, first column is student underscore ID, and you should always insert in this order only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can't zigzag the order. Okay, please make sure. So first goes your student underscore ID. I'm giving this as 101. Put a comma. If it is a number, always put a comma. Apart from that, everything goes in the single quotes. Okay, so 101. Then I have the student underscore name. So yesterday we were trying to create this table, if you remember. So in that, student name is Rahul for 101. So we'll insert Rahul here. Let me copy this data. Right. Okay, so student ID is 101 and the student name is Rahul. So as I told you, this is not a number. So you will have it kept in the single quotes. Let's say if you don't close the quotes, this is how you will see all the quote. Okay, so don't forget to close the single quote. Then put a comma, and between each and every column you will put a comma. Then you have his age as 19. Okay, so let's put 19, and he's a male. Then M also goes in this one. Next, his email ID rahulsharma@gmail.com. This also goes in quotes. Okay, then he has his 87.2 GPA. Since it is a number, it goes as 87.2. And then the date, that also goes in the quotes. Then you have, if he's a hostel resident or not, it is true. So just type true. Okay, so this is the first record. Let's try to insert. Take the entire code and click on run button. So it says that insert into students is successful. Now, if I have to check if it is inserted or not, what I will do? Again, I will run select star from student underscore details. Now, if I run this, Now Rahul is getting inserted. 101 Rahul, 19 male, all of the data is getting inserted. Great. So now the same thing we will do for second person. So now we will try to insert the data for user 102, and if we will check if the constraints are working or not. Okay. So now the same code. Yeah, we'll write it again. Insert into student underscore details values. Now bracket open, bracket close, semicolon. First, ID is 102. I told ID is gonna be primary key. What if I put 101 again? Let's see. 101. Okay. And then remaining all details, I'll keep it normal. Priya is the name. Let's put the first letter capital. Priya is the name. And the age is 20. And the gender is female. Then her email ID, priya@gmail.com. That also goes in the quotes. Then her GPA 92.3. Then you have a date. Then you have false. Okay. So now let's run this one. But we need quotes here also. For Boolean, you don't need quotes. Okay. Please remember. Let's try to insert. Obviously, you'll get an error because it says duplicate entry 101 for key student details primary. What does that mean? 101 is a primary key. You cannot enter the duplicates. So let's change it to 102. Okay, in the name Priya. Okay, so let's see what will happen here. Here it is telling that you have an error in the syntax. So now what we will do, instead of this blank space, we will keep null. Okay. So null, let's run what will happen now. It is telling that column student underscore name cannot be null because you gave the not null constraint here. But can you do and give a blank value? Yes, you can do blank, but it should not have null value. A blank value can be there, but null value should not be there. Okay, so let's make this name as Priya only. Student underscore, age column is telling I should have only above 18. What if I put 17? Okay, so let's run this. It is telling that check constraint student underscore details is violated because age is less than 17. Why it is not getting inserted? So let's put the age back to some 20, which we have. Then instead of male and female, let's put A. Something. Okay, so let's run this. First thing, it says data too long for column gender at row 1. What does it mean? Here in the gender, we put that character 1. Okay, since we have 2 letters, this is first violating this particular data type condition. Okay, now I'll remove and keep 1 letter A. And then I'll try to run again. It is telling that check constraint student check 2 is violated. What does that mean? It is telling that it should be M or F. Your ABCs will not be valid. So let's put it back to female. Then you have priya@gmail.com, right? So again, let's try to keep her email as rahul@gmail.com and see what will happen. Okay. Now what is happening? It will tell you duplicate entry rahul@gmail.com for key student details email. So here for email I said it should have unique value. Okay, this doesn't have a unique value. It is matching with this one. That's the reason why this constraint got violated. Next thing, GPA decimal. Check GPA is less than or equal to 100. What if I put 192.3 instead less, which is greater than 100, right? So first, it is telling out of range for column 1 GPA. Out of range tells me that in decimal, I said only 3,1. 3 means only 3 numbers should be there in total. Here you have 4 numbers, right? So that's the reason why the data is too long and it is out of range for the column GPA. So now instead I will make it 92.3 and let's try this. Okay, so let's put it at 92.3. Then for joining date, no condition. For hostel resident. Okay, so now let's keep the hostel resident as false and we'll run this code. Done. Okay, so now let's do select star from student underscore details and run this. Okay, 2 rows affected. It is showing me 102, Priya, 20, female, all of this. hostel resident, since we gave it as true or false, 1 is for true and 0 is for false. Now this is fine. Now I'll try to insert the third record, which is this one for Arjun. Okay, so insert into student underscore details values. So 103, you cannot have duplicates. Then goes Arjun, sorry, comma. Then you have his age as 18. Then it is male. Then his email ID, date. It's better I copy. Okay, so if you remember, I told you I'll tell you two ways to insert this particular data, right? So I'll show you another way also. Let's copy fourth one. Okay. Now, instead of the semicolon, remove the semicolon, put a comma. And in the next line, okay, do this. So put all this data inside this. 104, comma, Sneha, 21, female. And now codes for all of these. Okay, so either you run each and every line, insert, like that, or you can just put a comma between these two, like this one and this one, and also you can run it. So let's run and see. Okay, so it will tell you 2 rows affected. Okay, 0 duplicates, 0 warnings. Now let's put a semicolon. Select star from student underscore details. You will see 103 Arjun, 104 Sneha inserted exactly how we had. And one more thing, sometimes you do not want to insert all the records. Okay, you don't have so much of time to insert all the records. In that case, what you will do, insert into student underscore details, bracket open, bracket close. Then you have values, bracket open, bracket close, semicolon. So now here you will put what all you want to insert. Okay, so let's say if I want to just put the student ID. First student ID, because it's a primary key. Obviously you should have it. And student name, not null. So just put student underscore name. Then you have age. You should check if the age is greater than or equal to 18. Let's say I'll put age also. Then gender, it should be male or female. So I'll put the gender. Then I'll put email because it should be unique. But okay, let's see what will happen if we don't put email. Then we have GPA. Then we have the joining date. So joining date also I will skip and see what will happen. Then hostel resident also I will skip. Okay, so now let's insert the same values into this one. Let's put one random data, 105. Let's put 106 for now. Student name is some ABC test, and age is 19. Gender is male, and then GPA is some 10.1. Okay, let's see what will happen. Okay, the data is inserted actually, right? So let's do select star and see. Okay, so you're seeing 106 ABC, student ID 106, student name ABC, age 19, gender female, sorry, male. But here if you see in email, you have null, because since it's a unique constraint, right? I told you we can have nulls also. So null is present. Then the GPA, whatever you have, 10.1. Joining date, obviously we didn't give, so it's null. But the hostel resident, you see, it is giving as 0 because default is false. So it is showing as 0. So we can do in this way also. Okay, so as usual, we'll insert our last record to create the table. I'll just copy and paste. But you do not copy paste, okay? Just always try to run the entire syntax. That is how you build your muscle memory, okay? Don't run, or don't copy paste. Or don't run. Just don't copy paste. That's it. And also you can try with your own check conditions, see what is happening, read the errors by yourself. Okay, just try all of that. Yeah, and one more thing here, I said it is 19, age is integer, right? So what if I put 19.3? Okay, so this is not an integer. Let's see what will happen in that case. Okay, it is run successfully, and if you check in the select star, it will tell you 105 Kiran 19. Okay, even if you put 19.3, it's converting to integer. Okay, so please remember that. If you always want integer, just put the data type as int, and even if someone by mistake gives float also, it will convert to integer. Okay, so now we are done with this table creation. So if you see here, this is exactly what we have created here. Okay, the same table we have created here also. Right, so in the next video we'll be discussing about how to do the CRUD operations, which are rename, update, delete, what are the operations that we have, and let's say by mistake you did something wrong here or you made some mistake, how can you change that? All of that we'll see in the next video. And coming to the homework problems, create a database called teacher_db, then create a table called teacher_details inside teacher_db database with the following columns. So then what you will do, you will write create database teacher_db. Okay, use teacher_db because we are using this particular database. Then you have a create table code which will say create table name is what? teacher_details. Then open bracket, close bracket, semicolon. So inside this you will have all the columns. teacher_id. So now teacher_id, which will be integer. And now teacher_name. Teacher_name is going to be varchar. And I'll give maximum limit of 256 for this column. Then I have the subject. So for subject, what you will use? Same varchar. And this also I will give 256. Okay, then you have the age. Age column will be integer. You can give decimal also, not a problem. Then you have gender. So gender also we will have character 1. Okay, and then we have email, which is a varchar. 256 I'll give. Then you have phone number. So for phone number you can use big int. Okay, so what is big int? Integer can only hold up to some numbers. After that, if you want to hold a bigger number, in that case you will use big int. Okay, please remember it's a new addition. So then we have salary in K, which is also in K. That's the reason I'm using decimal. Okay, so decimal in K. So let's put 10, 3. This is up to you, your wish, totally your wish. Okay, so then joining underscore date will be a date format, and experience will be again decimal. 5, 3, something like that. No, 5 is too big. Yeah, but you have 3 decimals, so it's fine. Okay, so this is how you create the teacher table. And let's try to run create database teacher_db. Then use teacher database. The left side you will see teacher DB. In this you will create this cute table, and yes, you're done. So you will create the table, teacher details, columns, and all of this. Okay, done. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please post in the comments and I'll try to answer everything as early as possible. Okay, so stay tuned for the next video. And in the next video, we'll discuss about, yeah, I told you CRUD operations. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye. And subscribe because I'll be posting a new video every day. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.